Good morning. Good to see all of you in the new year. 2020, we have entered into a new decade from 2010 to 2020. Okay, so it's all a blessing of God. Every day, as I keep saying, it's a gift from God for all of you and for me. It's a gift from God. So let us enjoy every minute of it as God provides to us, and He expects some things from us that we need to know what exactly I am expected of from God. What exactly God's will is in my life. When we are able to submit ourselves to the perfect will of God, whatever happens in our lives in the new year will be according to His will. And His will is always good will for all of us. So welcome to our Bible study. Let us pray. Heavenly gracious God, the words of my mouth and the meditation of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer, in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you. Good to see everyone. As we have already completed our previous Bible study, I'm able to see everyone. I'm able to see Audrey. Lenny and Ruth, yes. Both Ruths.
Raise up the
Okay, good. I'm able to see my brother as well. Okay. So today we are beginning a new one. Apostle James the Greater. James is also very close to me. Not that we did the ministry together, but he is close to me. Why he is close to me? I will tell you later. Who is he? James. Do we know him? Have you heard about him? What did he do? We know he is one of the 12 disciples. Otherwise, we wouldn't have taken him for our study. That we come to know, everybody, for sure, this morning. But what exactly, who is he? What exactly he did? Is he related to anyone in the 12? How close he was with Christ? How can we say that? And why do we call him James the Greater? All those things are questions right now. So we will see the answers for all the questions raised right now, one by one, throughout our Bible study. Are you all with me? Mm-hmm. Let us go. Apostle James the Greater, this is actually a painting, an oil painting by the famous Rembrandt. You've heard about Rembrandt? Yes. Famous, so he painted this one.
Oh, can't see.
Must be millions of dollars.
Okay. That better? Okay, the other way.
to the other side.
Okay, how's that?
That's fine. Apostle James the Greater. Next. As I told you, the earlier oil painting, somebody can read this.
Say, St. James the Elder by Rembrandt. He is depicted clothed as a pilgrim. Note the scallop shell on his shoulder and his staff and pilgrim's hat beside him. His symbol is also the carpenter's saw.
Yes. go back to the picture now. We are, he is dressed up like, pilgrim. There is a way that pilgrims dress. That's why they are saying like this. When you go for pilgrimage, there is a way that you dress like that, so that even when people see you, people know that you are going for a pilgrimage. So even the thieves, the dacoits, when you see, oh, these people are going for pilgrimage, we should not touch them. They don't take a lot of money with them. So that's why the Rembrandt painted him as a pilgrimage. There should be a reason behind that. We will see that also. And the symbols of the staff, shoulder, there is a scallop. When you see here,
Oh, it's on his cuff.
it's not like quite visible, but that's the symbol. It's not visible even if you go close. And carpenter saw is also there. Yeah. This one.
Ah.
Next one.
Who makes that thing?
This is the Bayreuther, somebody can read.
Oh, okay. It says full name James Hebrew Yaakov.
Yaakov. In our, I have already mentioned to you, our Tamil Bible in our language, that is the original translation from Hebrew and Greek. Hebrew for the Old Testament and Greek for the New Testament. Original translation, not translated from English. English, what they do, they just for their own comfort, for pronouncing words, they change everything. Okay, for example, there is a place called Mumbai in India. They are not able to pronounce Mumbai, so they changed it into Bombay. You heard about Bombay?
Yes.
That's actually, original name is Mumbai. Okay, the place where my great-grandfather established a church is called Vatalakundu. The V sound, they are not, I don't know why they changed it. So they changed into Badlagundu. Like that, they changed everything. Tiruvananthapuram became Trivandrum. Tiruchirappalli became Trichy. So for their own convenience, they changed. So the original name is actually Yaakov. Yaakov. When you go to South America, you will see a lot of names by Yaakov. South American, Spanish, when they name, they name it like the original name, Yaakov. Okay, in our Tamil Bible, it says Yakobu. That's the original thing. But James is an English, yes.
I don't understand it because I thought, in the Spanish,
Yeah.
I think San Diego
Correct.
is a form of James, and to me that's completely different. I don't know how they can make that leap.
We will come to that. So that name is also one of the names that I wanted to explain that. So that's how, they keep changing names according to their convenience. Or they translate. Sometimes they translate and put it. Okay, San is actually like saint. Okay, so Yaakov. And how they sound, how it sounds to them. Because not everybody was educated. It's all hearsay. The message keeps going from people to people, country to country, so it gets changed. When I was a management, even right now I'm a management person, but when I did a lot of management training, corporate training for a lot of companies back home. So in our corporate training, we used to do a simple exercise. So what I will do usually in a group of the attendees, the trainees who comes for my training, I will just one of the the games that we play, the management games, what we play. So for example, I will whisper something to Andy in his ear. he has to be careful in listening to me. But usually we are distracted, you know. So when I whisper something, what did you say? What did you say? Only once I will say. I will not repeat.
Oh, boy.
So you have to pass on to the other guy. So it gets passed on till the last person. Then I will call the last person to come back and say it loud to everyone, to the group. He will say completely a different thing.
Yeah.
Especially if it is a sentence. Then I will ask Andy to come and say, what did I... He would have got at least, 80-90%. So he would come and say, so that will be completely contrast to each other. That's how things go, when you say something. The rumors also go like that. The rumors, especially they spread like fire, like wildfire. And I tell him that, I have some headache. I'm not able to come. So he will go tell somebody, Pastor Alfie is terribly sick. He won't be able to come.
Yeah.
The other guy, no, he's been affected by some disease. Nobody can do the diagnosis. Then it goes to the next person. You know what? Pastor Alfie is dead. He won't be able to come. That's how the rumors go. Rumors go, and every time, especially for the celebrities, it keeps happening. We have a thing called WhatsApp. Most of the information being passed on is all fake news. Fake news. So, got to be careful about what we hear, whether we can believe it or not. Whether we receive from the reliable source or not. Okay? So just okay. James, Hebrew name, Jacob. Latin again, Alan. Latin name is a different name, Lacomas. So, sometimes some of the letters people don't use it in their language. That's how. Okay, next.
Is your birth 1st century? Place of birth Bethsaida, Galilee.
Okay.
Father's name Zebedee. Mother's name Salome.
When you hear about Zebedee or Salome, does it ring a bell to anyone?
Wasn't it Ruth? Ruth and Salome?
No.
Because Salome is
Related.
familiar.
That's
Salome.
Ruth and
Yes.
that's Ruth and Naomi.
That is Naomi.
Naomi.
Yeah, that is Naomi. Okay. So, but when you read the next one, then you will understand.
A brother, John the Beloved.
Now you know. So he's the one brother of Apostle John. That we did a long Bible study on him. He's the only gospel writer. The 4th gospel, John. And James is his brother. Own brother. Blood brother. Okay, next. So that's why the father's name, mother's name are the same for both of them. Zebedee and Salome.
Okay, profession fisherman.
Fishermen, most of them are fishermen, yes.
Nicknamed by Jesus, Son of Thunder.
Son of Thunder. That's how Jesus called him. Why did he call him Son of a Thunder? Some son of a gun, son of a thunder. People say but so there should be some meaning behind it that we will see to it. Yeah.
Okay, feast, 25th of July, Western Christianity. April 30th, Eastern Christianity. December 30th, Hispanic Church.
Okay. These are all the feasts. And Hispanic people celebrate him much because he visited some of the Spanish countries. That's why Hispanic people have him as their patron saint. Okay?
The year of death, 45 AD. Place of death, Judea.
Okay. About the feast also, I mentioned to you about different cultures, different churches have some feast dates celebrating the saints. So they have different dates for him as well. Next. Here he's dressed up like an apostle, and you see the hollow behind him as a saint. It's a symbol of a saint. Next. Okay, you can read.
Okay, brought up by a rich household, disciple of John the Baptist first, one of the first called disciples of Christ, inner circle of Jesus Christ, short-tempered.
These are all the characteristics, some of them. Zebedee and Salome were rich people. They owned several boats. They employed the people. And they are like, and John and James are sons of them. So, but they also worked along with the laborers. So they are like prince in their own household. Rich people. And he was one of the disciples of John the Baptist. Okay, I told you that some of the John Baptist's disciples came and joined with Christ, and they were the first and foremost disciples of Christ, because John the Baptist sent them to Christ. We saw that a couple of weeks back in our sermon as well. So that's why he was one of the first called disciples of Christ. The first called disciples of Christ were originally disciples of John the Baptist. Okay? And the next point, the inner circle of Christ. There was always an inner circle for Christ. Some of the exclusive things that he did, he brought only few people. He took only few people with him. So he belongs to the inner circle. What is the proof of inner circle? We will see that later on. And short-tempered, why short-tempered? We will see that also. You know, we have already seen his name as son of a thunder. So he must be short-tempered. So let's see that also. Okay, now we will see the scriptures in which that James appears, or James is part of it. So this is the evidences. Our evidence is always our scripture. If we don't believe in scripture, then there is no point in our faith or Christianity or coming to church. We believe in scriptures. Our faith is rooted in the scriptures. So our evidence, the proof, comes from the scripture alone. Let's see.
Okay. And going on from there, he saw two brothers, James the son of Zebedee and John his brother, in the boat with Zebedee their father, mending their nets, and he called them. Immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him.
They left the boat and father, I don't know whether they even said bye to him. They just walked away and joined with Christ. That is the powerful call of Christ. Nobody can say no. That will happen in your life sooner or later. And I am the example. But there is God's call and He catch hold of you. You cannot free from the clutches of Him. That's so strong and so long that He can pick people for no reasons. Why would somebody pick me? No knowledge, no wisdom, no strength, no personality. Why would somebody pick me to be a leader? That's a mystery. When you start from the Old Testament to the New Testament, God chose people, are all ordinary people. But He chose ordinary people to do extraordinary work. And with our own strength, you cannot do it. If I think that, I am with my own knowledge and strength, with my couple of master's degree that I'm doing it, I'm the stupidest person in the world. Okay? So that's why we learn humility from Christ. We are proud that we are followers of Christ, but we are proud only as followers of Christ. So that exactly happened for Satan. That's a different story. We will come to that maybe sometime later. But when we see here, they immediately left the boat. That was a powerful call. Come follow me. That's it. They left everything, boat, their riches, their wealth, their father. They left everything and followed. Next.
Okay. Occasions of James' presence with Jesus. Raising of Jairus' daughter. Transfiguration. Agony in Gethsemane. Call down fire on a Samaritan town. Passover preparations, and Last Supper.
Okay. Do we have the Bible verses? Okay. I think I would rather read every one of them to understand. But since we don't have Bibles, we will revisit this next week when we have Bibles in our hand. So I want everyone to read every verse so that we will understand, we'll be able to understand exactly where James was present. Okay, by now, then I will just explain. Raising of Jairus' daughter. She was sick. He came and requested Christ to come and heal him. And Christ goes there and touches her and says, Talit tahumi. Then the girl rises from the bed. At that occasion, James was there. You know, when Jesus goes to certain locations, it is difficult to bring everyone because people were not, the houses that Jesus visited, not palaces, just small houses, just one room, maybe one kitchen, or everything is in the same room, kitchen, bedroom, everything is one room. So in one corner, they must be sleeping. You know, so it's difficult to bring everyone inside when Jesus goes there. So he will only take a few of them. So in the few, James was also there. That is the point that I'm trying to make here. So he belongs to the inner circle of Christ. Okay, you come. So like that, you know. The next one, transfiguration also, Jesus did not take all of them, all the disciples. He took only few of them, like Peter, John, James. He took them to the Mount Tabor, and where he was transfigured. James was also there. Inner circle. Okay? Agony in Gethsemane, of course, all of them were there. And we read specifically about the mentioning of James' name, so he was definitely there. And call down fire on a Samaritan town. We have to read this particular portion. When Jesus went there, the Samaritan people did not give him a place to stay. At that time, James got wild like anything. He said, can we call for fire on the Samaritans? So that's why Jesus called him a son of thunder. Okay, short temper. And the Passover preparations, James was there. And for the Last Supper, in the upper room, James was there. We will read each and every sentence, verse next week. Go next, please. Veneration. Okay, can somebody?
Saint James is the patron saint of Spain, and according to legend, his remains are held in Santiago de Compostela in Galicia, Spain.
As I told you that he is very close to Spanish people, a lot of Spanish countries have him as patron saint. So because he went to Spain, and that's where he is called Santiago. I told you that James is a little close to me. How is the name Santiago? Santiago is the name of my great-grandfather. He was the second generation Christian. His father was a military officer in Britannia military, the British military. He was an officer, and he was a Catholic. I don't know when he got converted into Catholicism, but from Catholic religion, he brought up all their sons and daughters. But Santiago was the first one to got into the Protestant religion. He was my great-grandfather. So when you see the generation, Santiago's father, first generation Christian, and before him, I don't know whether Santiago's father got converted or his father converted. So I will count from Santiago's father. Santiago's father, first generation. Santiago, second generation. Sebastian, third generation, my grandfather. And
That's why it's
my brother's son has Sebastian.
Yeah.
That's the name from my
Oh,
grandfather.
I wonder where that came from.
Sebastian is the third generation. My father is the fourth generation. I am the fifth generation. So I can probably say that I am a fifth generation minister in my family.
Wow.
So Santiago was a great guy, and he got educated because all of them were educated, all the other brothers and sisters, and he went and became a professor, math professor in American College. American College is where I went for my graduation, my UG. That's in Madurai, Tamil Nadu, India.
In India too.
Okay, I never had a clue that I'll be in America,
At that time, yeah.
that I studied in American college, and I had no clue. But God's plan was like that. Okay, so he was. Then after that, he went to seminary. Same like my story. I never became a pastor from the beginning. He went as a professor, and he went to seminary. Same, I went to some other work, and I went into seminary, became a pastor, got ordained, and left his job. I have not left my job yet. I'm planning to. He went and became a big minister. He was trained in music, Carnatic music, the indigenous music. So he composed several songs. And the songs are being sung all over the world, even now. We keep singing the song. My brother sang that song during the Christmas Advent.
Right.
That was composed by my great-grandfather.
Wow.
One of the great-grandfathers. Not Santiago, his brother. Okay, they were all great composers, and those songs are being sung. That's why people call me as a descendant of Santiago. People call me to sing, to have some worship service. Remember, I went to Canada the same time last year. Three, 4 times I've gone there. And I conducted a program in my native place, in Chennai, in California. I did programs like that, sing and explaining about the background of the song, what was the circumstance that he wrote the song like that. So he went and built a church in a place called, I told you, Badlagundu or Vatalakundu.
Oh boy.
That's a small town near Madurai. Okay, and he was one of the founders of Church of South India. Now, Church of South India, the Protestant church. The Church of India was divided into two for just geographical reasons. One is Church of South India and Church of North India. And Church of South India had been divided into different dioceses, and bishops are there leading the different dioceses. Okay, so under the Church of South India, one of the founders is my great-grandfather, and he went and built a church in a place called Vatalakundu, and the name of the church is Saint James. Now you know the connection,
Yeah.
everything together.
Wow.
I never realized. I just came to know when I did my CPE course in Calgary, and there is something called the family tree that we are supposed to present it. So when I explained about the generations, and my supervisor is from Puerto Rico, he said, you know, Santiago is James. Only then I realized, oh, the name of the church is St. James. So then I connected the points. See, after so long, then I came to know. So then I immediately informed my brother about that. Okay, so Spain, Spanish, Santiago, it's all related with each other. When I went to Mexico, there was a big cathedral that I went. I'll show you some pictures about that. It's specifically, it's called the Santiago Church. So specifically in Santiago's name. So Santiago is Saint James.
Let's see.
Saint James is the disciple of Christ. It's the same name. Okay. Veneration. Okay. Pilgrimage. Okay. Can anyone read? With this we close.
Okay. The traditional pilgrimage to the grave of the saint, known as the Way of St. James, has been the most popular pilgrimage for Western European Catholics from the early Middle Ages onwards. 125,141 pilgrims registered in 2008 as having completed the final 100-kilometer walk, 200 kilometers by bicycle, to Santiago to qualify for a Compostela. In 2004, Jubilee year, 179,944 pilgrims received a Compostela. In the Jubilee years of 2010 and 2011, the number of pilgrims is expected to exceed this figure.
This is like some old data.
Wow.
I just would like to, I'm curious to see how many people went in 2019. By walk or by cycle, it has doubled the distance. They have to go by walk to the specific location as a pilgrimage that's called Way of St. James. People go there to get, one of the like bucket list, people say.
How far is that walking? Like, I don't know what kilometers.
The kilometer is less than a mile.
Less than a mile.
Mile, yes.
Thank you.
For example, about I think it's about 2.5 kilometer is a mile.
Oh,
Is
okay.
a mile. So roughly about 50 miles, we could say. 50 miles walk is also not an easy thing, you know.
Oh,
And especially it doesn't look like a road, because the road
it's like a,
will take double the distance if you go by road. Must be from forest, inside the forest. When you go in the road, then you have to walk double. So, but you can go by bicycle or something. Okay, we'll talk more about this next week. Thank you for joining.
oh, thank you.